Now, Storm Watch 12 weather with meteorologist Josh Culbreth.
That Megan Fox blood thing, that's foul. Someone just had to say that out loud. Anyways, let's talk about weather. I'd much rather talk about weather. Gray skies there along the coast, but really the antithesis to that in Siskiyou County is we're seeing beautiful blue skies, still mild conditions, 50 degrees right now in Wairika, and also 50 degrees there along the coast. We are just seeing the last gasp of all the rain and the snow that we saw earlier this morning, and it wasn't even that much. It's starting to fizzle out there over the Cascade Ridge line. Maybe a little bit later in the day we could see some more showers along the coast. At least this model certainly thinks so, but that's a very minimal chance. The big story moving forward, of course, is going to be the stagnant weather that we're going to have beyond this evening, but also the clouds clearing as we head into the evening and into the overnight hours. And we'll see even some more sunshine on Friday before some more clouds build in as we head into the later portions of the day on Friday. So for today, again, we're holding on to a very slight chance of rain along the coast. The winds, they'll be gusting anywhere between 25 to 30 miles per hour. Then down in Siskiyou County, a completely different scene down there. Of course, you just saw from our Newswatch 12 Weather Cam network, specifically the camera there in Wairika, beautiful blue skies down there. That'll continue throughout the course of the day. We are just a little bit cooler than we were yesterday, and that also applies to the basin. We'll see a little bit more cloud coverage in the basin as opposed to Siskiyou County, but if it was a competition between all the forecast zones, Siskiyou County and the Klamath Basin would win as far as the amount of sunshine coverage. Up in the mountains, we are holding on to just the slightest chance of a stray shower left over. But look at these wind gusts today, getting all the way up to 40 miles per hour, in particular up there at Crater Lake. And then in the Rogue Valley, we're already seeing the clouds beginning to break apart. That trend will continue throughout the course of the day. And mild temperatures, once again, 50 degrees in Medford and 51 degrees in Rogue River. Your playground forecast for today as we head throughout the course of the lunchtime, and then as we head into the afternoon. Like I just mentioned, and like you just saw in Stormcast, those clouds begin to break apart in a big way, and so that'll be a very pleasant playground weather if there is such weather. So for tonight, the fog will fill up the inland valleys. That's really going to kickstart the stagnant pattern that we're about to get into. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler than they were last night. We have a pair of 22s in Klamath Falls and Lakeview. We'll be in the 30s in the Rogue and Shasta valleys, and we'll be in the 40s there along the coast. We maybe hold on to some drizzle there along the coast, but I wouldn't bank on conditions being very wet there tonight. And speaking of the devil, those stagnant weather conditions, here is the advisories that the Oregon DEQ has issued. One for the east side and one for the west side. This goes from 6 p.m. this evening all the way to noon on Monday. So try to limit outdoor burning, because when air stagnates, that means that pollutants can accumulate within the valley. So you don't want to do anything to contribute to reduced air quality. Unfortunately, this is the reason why our air stagnation problem is going to be such an issue over the next 7 days. We just don't have any rain to break up the stagnant air, and that is certainly bad news, not only for air quality, but for the drought situation as well. We want to continue to see improvements there on the east side. So here's your 7-day forecast along the coast. Rain begins to wrap up a little bit later, especially as we head into the late night hours. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday should all be very pleasant. Hey, let's throw Monday in there too as well. Then in Siskiyou County, not a drop of rain in sight. It's just going to be bone dry. It's going to be mild as well. And again, I'm just kind of running out of words to describe it, and I'll have to use that lack of wordage for the basin too, because it's going to be the exact same weather as we're just going to see dry and lukewarm conditions there, at least for the month of January. And then up in the mountains, at the very least, we have chances for rain and snow Tuesday going into Wednesday, but those are hovering around 10%, not very impressive at all. And then in the Rogue Valley, similar to the basin, similar to Siskiyou County, I'll say it one more time just for good measure, dry conditions and mild conditions as well.
And we talk about air stagnation a bunch during this show. Can you kind of explain, I guess, what it is and how it will affect us and this drought situation this week?
I have a whole graphic for it. I wish you would have asked that question like 4 minutes, but I'll try to explain it the best I can. Okay. We have cold air from the mountains. It always drains down into the valleys. So we have cold air on the valley floor. That means we have warm air above that aloft. So that's known as a capping inversion. So think of that Just as the name would imply, that's a cap over all the air over the valley. So when we have exhaust from cars and when we have fumes burning from outdoor burning, then those pollutants kind of accumulate and that reduces our air quality. And so the only way to alleviate that is for another storm system to roll through that mixes out the air, that lets all that nasty stuff kind of escape out of the valleys. Hope that explained it.
No, it did. It kind of makes sense what we see during fire season specifically. We won't even have fires burning here, but once that smoke comes up from California, it kind of just settles in and it really takes a long time for it to move out. I know I felt like I was living in a dome for weeks here, so it's kind of a similar situation, it sounds like.
Exactly. Now, we're not going to see air quality values nearly as bad as what we did in the summer, hazardous and extremely hazardous air quality categories, all that. Nothing like that. It would be moderate, maybe unhealthy for sensitive groups, but not the clean, crisp air that we're typically used to during the fall and winter months.
Absolutely. Okay. Thanks, Josh.
Of course.